negotiation and knowing your enemy.
Yep.
And like the number one rule of negotiation is never say your price first.
Okay.
And that's what I did. Like, so I just kind of went into him and cool. Like, how much do you want? Like, what would you see? And then he kind of came to me, and his price was so much lower than I thought it would be.
Let's go.
Jack, hey man.
Hey man, what's going on?
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, as am I. I always love getting on these shows. They're always a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone at home, Jack Zuvelek, he's an absolute champ in the fitness world. He started off in 2014 with only one Bootcamp. He now has 7, I believe, as well as 2 softwares and a cryo lab. So really looking forward to hearing his story, how he got to where he is. And how old are you, man? What's your age?
I'm 23.
Exactly. So, you're fucking crushing it, man. I'm really looking forward to hearing how it's all going.
Yeah, awesome, bro. Awesome. One of my business partners, Brad's on. What's going on, Brad?
Hey, Brad. Thanks for tuning in, man. So, yeah, Jack, I'd love to absolutely hear, man. How did you get started? Like, how did you get off where you are now?
Yeah, cool. So I started working at Good Life. So just like Good Life where most PTs start in 2013. So I did my certs end of 2012.
Yep.
So
with you,
and
there we
then, I just saw a phone call came through.
Yep.
So, started at Good Life 2013, and then end of 2013, we opened our first boot camp. Me and my business partner, and then so from there, then January of 2014, we opened the second one. And then we had 2 locations there. So it was like, day after my 20th birthday, thought it would be a bit of fun to go check out a building. Then next thing you know, we signed a lease and away we go. So that was kind of our first location, and then kind of it's just grown from there. Like the first kind of software as a service, the total body consulting was purely because we were spending 15 to 20 grand a year printing programs for our clients.
Okay.
And binding and office works and all that fun stuff. So we developed that, and that was a really big learning curve for just software development as well. So that was kind of our first thing. And then 2016, 2015, we got a letter saying, "Cool, you guys got to move out. Time to go." So we got kicked out of our first lease because they were building apartments.
Fair. Okay.
Very fun times. So that was that. That was really stressful, but character building kind of exercise.
Roll with the punches and all that.
That's it, man. That's it. And I think one of the big things for any viewers watching is life doesn't get easier. Your problems generally just get bigger, and they usually have more zeros on the end. Instead of $50 problems, they're $500 problems, $5 grand problems, and $50,000 problems.
Exactly.
So that's kind of one big thing that I kind of thought cool, opening the second gym would be life gets easier, and it just doesn't. Your ability to deal with shit and deal with problems, it kind of gets better. So that's one I guess a thing for anyone watching is making sure that you understand that it's not, if you want to scale out, if you're online, then cool, your systems are going to get more, and you're going to have more people and more things that go through the funnel that are just harder to keep a track of.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, you're coming back to the whole point where you're spending so much money a year on just printing out programs for your clients. Then you had that epiphany to make software is just, so clever in the fact that you can just help that to scale, and it's a lot cheaper to do so. Because I mean, once you spend however much it was to, build that app, it's then you're set. Sure, there's some maintenance involved, but the actual thing itself is no stress at all. So,
that's it.
And then you can reinvest that cash elsewhere, which is fantastic. So good for you, man. That's awesome.
That's it. It's just that business is a hyper leveraged investment vehicle. If you get into business for having good cash flow, go get a fucking job.
Yeah,
that's kind of my philosophy.
Pretty much. It's especially in the first few years of business, you're always reinvesting the cash you make from it back into business. So it's always a case of just running through it for a couple of years, and then you start to then cash out some of those chips, but then as you said, you've got a new investment now as well, the Cryo Lab 2, which is awesome. They're really so it's something that I'm sure everyone at home would love to know what they are, because we've in the city there's one here in Adelaide. Someone asked the question just before, what is it? So
Yeah, so cryotherapy is if you've seen like LeBron James or Floyd Mayweather in those cold tanks. So we've got one of those cold tanks, gets down to like negative 140, 150, and really just good for like blood flow, inflammation, stress, and the immune system as well. So it is like the whole body is really good for like systematic inflammation. So just like the systems, like us as humans generally have inflamed systems. So bringing that down, it just stops disease, because disease is inflammation. So if you can stay on top of that, then awesome.
Yeah, fantastic. So how did that come about with getting one of those labs?
Yeah, so like I was like James and I, my business partner, we were really interested in it back in like 2014, 2013, 2014, and we like oh, that'd be sick, because obviously it's quite easy. You press a button, it does it. It's all like there's no like, compared to like personal training, there's no, I guess, skill required in the operation. And then from there, like we saw one that was opening in Subiaco, that was just around the corner from our like headquarters. And from there, like I just got chatting with the owners, and then the owner came to me and was like, I think we're thinking about selling. Would you guys be interested? So I was like, yeah, actually, like I would be. So we had a chat, and then we kind of got it down like from like an $85,000 purchasing price up front to like $8,000, and then like 75 on vendor finance. So
fantastic.
It cost us $8,000 to like acquire the asset, and then we just cash flowed the payback, which was a pretty cool feat. Like it was really rewarding. Like in July last year, to like do our last payment of $8,333. To pay back the loan, and it was that moment. Like again, it's just another feather in the cap, and it like in like obviously entrepreneurship, like it's that constant like involvement, like you're evolving and expanding. It's like, cool, I can do this, and again, that leading into new projects always gives you like a bit more confidence, knowing that like if like, I did this, well then I can't do that, and then it's just like that scaling up to the next level. And kind of like my newest venture has been into like the cryptocurrency space, and the big things, like because I'm a business person, I get how businesses need to be run. So like I'll never invest in something that doesn't have good marketing, because without marketing, like that's all it is.
Exactly.
And like I'm fortunate enough that like I understand marketing, and that's how we've been able to scale so fast. And I've marketed for hedge funds, I've marketed for real estate companies, I've sold food online, I've sold shots online, I've sold hair products, facials, personal training, like anything you can think of, like loans. I've been able to sell online through Facebook because I understand how it works.
Exactly.
And that's like as an entrepreneur, like you can get away, if you can market and have like an ounce of ability to sell, you can scale to $1 billion, because it's just a numbers game from there. If you can get enough leads, that even if it's 1 in 100 and like it's $1,000 purchase price, 100 people is 100K, 1,000 people is 1 million, 10,000 people is 10. Like it's purely becomes numbers, and that's what I like about like the cryptocurrency. It's purely just numbers on the screen. Which kind of leads back, like before I got into personal training, that's what I want to do. I want to be like a stockbroker or like work in shares. And then it's kind of funny how it's come full way around, because I'm not really coaching clients per se anymore. I kind of more in a leadership role, like with our partners, and looking up the marketing. So it's getting to that point where cool, like just looking at screens and stuff, that there's plenty of money to be made if you know what you're doing.
That's cool, man. Yeah, that's fantastic. And coming, from where you were to where you are now is a massive feat. Like, congratulations, you've done really, really well. And
Thank you.
To even get a cryo lab for $8,000 up front is an amazing feat. Like that's phenomenal. So, would you say that there was some luck involved, or was it all just right timing?
It's negotiation. Again, negotiation and knowing your enemy. And like the number one rule of negotiation is never say your price first.
Okay.
And that's what I did. Like, so I just kind of went into him and like, cool, like how much do you want? Like, what would you see? And then he kind of came to me, and his price was so much lower than I thought it would be. Power Ledger is where it's at. Yeah, Andrew. I'll ask, like, in terms of that, like I'm heavily invested into Power Ledger. I got it pretty much day one after the ICO. I missed out on the ICO. My thoughts on Power Ledger is it's just like the legislation and how they're actually going to produce it. So I met the founders the other night and stuff like that, and there's just a few questions that I have. Like, I think that the marketing's great and the process is great, but they don't have like revenue yet. Whereas I just invested into an ICO called Restart Energy, and they've got 27,000 customers in the EU. They've got about $5 million in revenue, up 400% from last year. They actually got a revenue model, so the tokenization of their coins or of their currency is a lot more like valuable because it's in the EU. They're so green, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, again, I think just on this, Powerledge is a great investment. I've got a heavy holding in that, and it kind of took a real big hit over the last couple of days.
A lot dropped.
Yeah,
but it'll go back up.
That's it. That's the kicker. So, yeah, I think, cryptocurrency, there's never, my belief on cryptocurrency, if you know what you're doing, there's never been a better opportunity to make money in our lifetime. I don't think there ever will be. I have invested into it, and I've invested time. I've got mentors, I've got resources in communities, and again, with the internet now, it really, again, this is just going completely off topic, but you kind of
that's what the show's about, man. We can't just talk shit.
You kind of learn how the rich keep getting richer. I've been fortunate enough to be able to advise a couple of ICOs on their marketing, on how to go viral, and they have been able to go, cool, you get a 40% bonus or a 60% bonus over the general public. Beautiful. So from day one, I'm 60% up on the general public.
Yeah, fantastic.
So that's and that's kind of where you look at the stock market and stuff like that, and the stock market or the real estate, with you doing these developments, cool, you come to me with a block of land. Hey Jack, you're my mate. Hey Ross, how you doing? Cool, awesome. I'm going to give you this land for 300,000. The general public's going to get it for 400,000. Do you want in? Yeah, cool, awesome. Yeah. I buy 3 blocks, and I get a 4th one for free when I sell it. So much. It's again networking and just being a good person, as an entrepreneur, as fucking anyone really.
Absolutely.
It pays such serious dividends, and the opportunities that I've gotten are purely because I am nice to people, and I would go out of my way to every single text message I send out or every email. Have a lovely day. Have a great day. We'll speak to you soon. Enjoy your weekend.
Fantastic.
That 2 seconds extra goes such a long way, especially in the digital world where we've never been so more connected but disconnected at the same time.
Absolutely. And we were talking about this the other day, where that screen between us can make, some feel it can make all the difference, but there's no difference. You're still interacting with humans on the other side. And for those that feel like they can be pieces of shit through the internet, it's well, bro, you'd never say that in the real world. You get punched in the face.
Shit.
So leveraging your network is so important, and being nice to people at the same time. Some massive points here, Jack. Absolutely, man, for sure. So with everything that's coming along, where do you feel that everything is headed in what direction next? You says you've just invested in a few things, and what do you think's going on next?
So again, I think personal services, they're still so high because people are so disconnected. Again, I almost feel like an OG in the gym industry because it's been doing it for 5 years and there's so much new. But your online programs and stuff like that, they're really good and they're a gateway to exercising. And my philosophy is always good, better, best. So, hey Ross, you're sitting on the couch being a fat piece of shit, and not exercising. An online program, fucking Kayla Eatsteins or any of that rubbish. If you go do that, awesome, well done, that's good. Better, you start actually training with a PT because then you actually got a little bit of accountability. And then best is getting a coach that actually knows what they're doing, has invested in themselves, gives you something specific, individualized. And again, people fall on that spectrum. And I used to be so it's my way or the highway. In terms of training, you have to lift weights and you have to do that. And now I'm I don't give a fuck as long as you're happy. And then if that comes from yoga, awesome. If that comes from lifting weights, wicked. If that comes from F45, great. But then it comes down to, that's the first step. And then now if you're doing something and not getting a result, let's have a look at it and then I can kind of give you my advice. But until then, I couldn't care less. You do you.
Exactly. That's it. There's so many things that work, and it's just a case of what works best for you. Same with business as well. You really find what your strengths are and leverage those, and leveraging your network at the same time, whether it is through your coach or your mentor or whatever, it's going to help you get a lot further along. So, that's fantastic. So you did mention before, Jack, that you do have mentors as well. So what would you, what would you recommend for those that perhaps looking for mentors? When you first started out with having a mentor, what were the key things you looked for? Or maybe you've learned along the way.
Just proof. That's the only thing I look for. It's like proof. Like show me. Like we have a principle in our business, like the show me principle, which is like, cool. Ross, can you like write a program for a client? Yep, cool, awesome. Hey, is the program done? Yep, it is. Show me. And it's like, if you can't show me, it's not fucking done.
Yeah, okay.
So that's kind of one of our principles in the TBC is like, cool, like it's just show me. If you can't, then you're fucking lying. So
yeah, of course.
and it's again like the kind of culture that we're creating is just like do the work and you'll have an awesome life, you get paid really well, but you just need to do the work. And if you're not really willing to do that, then it's not the place for you. And that's like, again, I think that's from top down because like, Jimmy and I started with really nothing, no idea. We're 2 kids with a combined age of like 42. Yeah. So
yeah, you've done phenomenally for your age. Absolutely, man. You've done really, really well. So
I don't think that's it's purely work based. I don't think like age has an issue of it. Like I made my first like $7,000 selling hats that I imported from China to people for like I bought them for like $3, sold them for 30, so like a 10x markup.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's it. And if you find the market that's willing to pay for it, then why not?
Oh, that's it. So what was I talking about? Show me. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of one of the things that we do is like the show me principle. Is that you can't show when you're not doing it. And then with mentors, it's like cool. Like I always look for like where's the evidence. So like my first mentor was a guy named Travis Jones. So he's doing like really big things in like fitness, very similar. Like our business models are very similar. And like again, he really helped us. Really helped us in terms of marketing and just setting things up because he like obviously set up his own like fitness studios. So we worked with him for about 18 months, which was really awesome. And like we still keep in touch and hang out when he's in Perth or whatever like that. So there's that. And then we worked with a guy named Kerwin Ray. So we did like a year with him, and that was really like personal development and I guess like as weird as it is, like redefining ourselves. So Jimmy and I, we went from like running like 14 hours a day of group training. Like we'd start at 5 a.m., finish at 7 p.m. Like full personal trainer, like through and through, living like that. But then like we hired managers and we had all coaches in there. So like that identity of being a personal trainer was gone. And we were like, what do we do? Like we've got all this money, we've got 2 kids, like we're not working. Like, we do like an hour or 2 days of work a day. Like what do we do? And then that was kind of with Kerwin, like we did a lot of learning. Like I read about 60 books in 2016.
Yeah, fantastic.
So like just going through, like was it enlightenment? Was it, I don't know what it was, but it was like that journey. And that's what really Kerwin helped us set up. And then also like the financial structures for bringing on business partners. So that was that. And then like 2017, we worked with a gentleman named Mitch Sanders. And Mitch, he was like homeless like 6 years ago. And then he like ended up like scaling up. Like, have you heard of Hostzilla, like the hosting company?
I've heard of it. I don't know too much about it, but
literally just a hosting company. He started that and sold it for 25 million. So like that build up, scale up, sell up. Was like that was kind of thing, and he just really helped us like scale the processes and scale the like business to make it duplicatable, and that's kind of where we went from like 1 to 2 to 4 to 7 in the space of like 18 months.
Yeah, wow.
So
that's fantastic.
Like doing that. So that was kind of they're my mentors, and then we stopped working with Mitch, but now we're working Mitch more. It's funny, we kind of like, we're going to get into Ripple at 7 cents. And then like we were just talking about it on the call, and then like he was like, and then like our like coaching calls became like crypto calls, and then now like we're working with him on a more like crypto basis, like just building up different holdings and trading and like research and stuff like that. So he's got a really cool mastermind that we're a part of. So that's the thing. I think like early to the party gets the biggest piece of the pie, and that's kind of where I look at it.
Yeah, well said. No, that's awesome. So, Jack, I'm just wondering, in regards to your businesses, so anything that you're able to share with us today in regards to for those to be able to get in contact with you or, use your services or utilize, we'd love to hear about that. Yeah,
like easiest, like obviously if you're watching this, just add me on Facebook. I accept everyone. I'll pretty much reply to every message unless it's like some dick pic or spam.
I could love those.
So, like just add me on Facebook. I'll drop my email at the end of the video if you've got something that you would want to like kind of chat more of. Instagram, it's just at Jack Zuvelek. I'll kind of put that in the comments as well. Other than that, it's again reach out. And the biggest thing is I would never have asked to come on the show, but you asked me, and I was like, cool, seems good. So I think the best, if I leave you with anything, ask and you shall receive.
100%.
I called Westpac yesterday and asked for the institutional rate for investing in US currencies. Wiped off 4% of my costing just by a phone call. So
that's fantastic.
The ask and you shall receive. Again, for me, I've had no said to me so many times that it doesn't matter.
Absolutely, that's
part
of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. Still remember a night where I was making calls to book consults. I got 60 odd voicemails in an hour on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And it's and that's the thing, for anyone watching this video that kind of has these $1 million dreams and all that kind of stuff, which is I'm all for, but are you really willing to shovel shit for 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, exactly.
Metaphorically and physically. I cleaned the bins out in the gym yesterday because I'll messy and I cleaned them. And that's the thing. People are always they've got this fallacy or they've got this fallacy of, do what you love and you never work a day in your life. That is fucking bullshit. There is nothing that didn't feel like work about cleaning gyms and scrubbing floors in the gym. That is work.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to do it.
Definitely. It's more about what you're willing to do for 12 hours a day. Do that.
Yeah.
That's 12 to 14 hours a day. If you're willing to invest your time doing that, do that.
Yeah, that's it. So, again, I like to think one of my biggest strengths is that I'm a realist. And I'll keep it real. I don't see barriers, but I don't know. I feel as though especially the entrepreneur group is so confused because they see your Tai Lopez's and all this kind of stuff driving around in Lambos, and that's the kind of thing. The thing that they don't understand is once you make your first $1 million, making the second one is so easy. You can literally leave it in an investment for 10 years, not touch it, get 10% a year, and you'll compound it there, and you'll be at 1 point, you'll make $2 million in less than 10 years. Yeah. So but it's getting to that point and foregoing all those fun things that you wanted in the first place. Again, I drove a car around that I had since I was 17 until literally 2 months ago where I bought a new car. And I financed it. And I'm understanding all those little things and ignorance is the price you pay for, broke is the price you pay for being ignorant.
Well said.
Because there's so much opportunity right now. And if you can't see that, and especially if you're watching this video, you've got access to the internet and Facebook. If you're broke, you have no one to blame but yourself.
Yeah, well said. Yeah.
So that's a little bit of real talk to finish up.
No, man, that's fantastic. I mean, ask and you receive 100%. Pretty soon the Adelaide mayor has actually agreed to come on the podcast, and that never would have happened if I didn't ask. We're still scheduling when, but you ask and you may receive, you may not, but you 100% won't receive if you don't ask.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
100%, man. So, Jack, thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll wrap it up there because I know you're busy. So, with today,
perfect.
We'll keep it
10:59.
half hour. Perfect,
awesome, man. Thank you.
So,
good
everyone
stuff,
at home, Jack Zuvelek, thank you so much for coming on the show. Everyone at home, thank you so much for investing your time with us here today. If you did get value from today's episode, please drop #value in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Jack, thanks so much for coming on the show, man. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No worries, bro. And I'll chat to you soon.
Yeah, man. We'll keep in touch. I'd love to hear how things are going. So, we'll chat again soon.
Sounds good, man. Easy.